You ever had those smart players that just know every stat in the monster manual or Volos or any of your other D&D books? So what'd you do? You went out, you bought Tome of Beasts, Tome of Beasts 2, Creature Codex from Kobold Press, all books we've talked about in the past here in DM Toolbox, and you started throwing all these new, unique things at them. But they wised up to you. They started looking at those books. They started getting to know those monsters. And you need something new? Well, Tome of Beasts 3 just came out this week, and today we're going to take a look at Tome of Beasts 3 from Kobold Press. Let's get into it. Hello everybody, I'm Joe and this is the DM Toolbox, your go-to place to get all the tools you need to enhance your D&D games. Before we get started today, just a quick reminder, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the like button, help me out as we grow this channel. So it's finally out everybody, Tome of Beasts 3 finally started shipping about a week ago. I got my PDF copy just the other day and been taking a look, picking out some monsters I really like, along with the Tome of Beasts 3 Lairs book, which has some awesome dungeons and nice little adventures for us to play through. So today we're going to take a look at the PDFs. I don't have my physical books yet. They have not shown up. And the virtual tabletop version should hopefully be coming out in the near future. When I do finally get my hands on the Foundry version, maybe we'll take a quick look at that as well. But today, let's look at the PDF for Tome of Beasts 3 and for Tome of Beasts 3 Lairs. Okay, so here we are taking a look at the cover of Tome of Beasts 3. This is probably my favorite cover art of all their monster books. I really like this one, the undead dinosaur or whatever that is with the zombies coming out. Just super cool looking cover. The book itself filled with, just like their other books, probably somewhere, I haven't done an exact count, but in the neighborhood of 400 monsters. So we'll take a quick scroll down the book, and I've got one or two picked out that I kind of want to look at, but just to kind of give you an idea here, you know, they do a good job with their books of not only their monsters. One of the things I've always loved about the Kobold Press monster books in general is that I feel like their creatures are more true to the CR difficulty. You know, giving a party a CR5 out of here or CR10 out of here is going to be a much more challenging encounter than, let's say, a CR5 or 10 out of the Monsters Manual. They just balance their monsters better. They're definitely more intimidating creatures. If we look down here, let's just skip down to the appendix real quick. So this appendix here, we have all of our creatures by challenge rating, we have them by type, and we have them by terrain. So very useful. Terrain's very useful tables in my, for me. If I'm going through some Badlands or some desert or a forest, I can find some good stuff pretty quickly. I also do like creatures by type because sometimes you're just looking for a certain type of encounter. Like I said, I'm a fan of undead. So looking, coming down here and looking to see what undead we have, is a nice touch. And I can just, in the PDF at least, if I want to check out what this bone collector is, I can just click on it. It'll bring me right to the bone collector page. So they definitely make that nice and easy and simple to use. So I do want to, like I said, pick out one or two monsters that kind of I liked, and I'm hoping to maybe either use or get to maybe fight against in my games. My favorite so far, I think, is the black shuck here. So this is a cool creature. It's very wolf-like. It's like this black shaggy dog, almost like the Grimm from Harry Potter, right? But it's like the size of a horse. It's got a single glowing eye, and it is pretty tough, man. It's a CR11 creature. You can see it's high strength, high con, high dex, high intelligence, high wit. I mean, all of its stats are pretty good. Intelligence is its lowest at 14. So this thing is not to be messed with. It has resistance to cold, fire, lightning. It has immunities to necrotic, poison, and physical damage not made with silvered weapons. So silvered weapons is a good one for this. Also can't be charmed or frightened. Dark vision out to 90 feet. True sight out to 60 feet. So tough creature, right? This blood frenzy ability, right? The Black Shuck has advantage on attack rolls against any creature that doesn't have all its HP. So any damage, whether you come into the fight without full HP or you take one hit during the game, or during the encounter, now this thing has got advantage on every single attack it does against you. So that could be pretty brutal right there. Keen hearing and smell, that's kind of something we would expect. The water walking I thought was kind of interesting. Not something I would have thought of, but this thing can move across the surface of water as if it were harmless solid ground. The trait otherwise works like the water walk spell. So yeah, this thing can just walk across water, no problem. Now the multi-attack, right? This thing makes 3 bite attacks and can use either its Curse of the Grave or its Fearsome Howl ability if they're available. So that's not 2 attacks and Curse of the Grave, or 2 attacks and Fearsome Howl. It can use 3 bite attacks and then do one of those 2 abilities. And then if at least 2 of the bite attacks work, the thing basically grabs you in its mouth and shakes you around like a rag doll, and you take extra slashing damage and end up prone. So that's pretty mean. And then obviously once you're prone, it's gonna pounce you. So its bite attack though is doing 2d8 plus 4 piercing and then 3d6 necrotic. So imagine taking 2 or 3 of those in a single round. The Curse of the Grave, I love this ability. So it can glare at a creature. The creature has to make a DC 17 Wisdom saving throw or be cursed. A cursed creature has disadvantage on the next 2 death saving throws it makes in the next 7 days. The curse lasts until the creature has made 2 death saving throws, until 7 days have passed, or until it's been lifted by like remove curse or something like that. That's brutal, and chances are with a creature like this, you're going to be using those 2 death saves during this fight. So that is rough. And then the Fearsome Howl, basically, this one feels like the most flavorful to me for this entire encounter, because it basically does this haunting howl. And anybody within 60 feet of it has to make a DC's Wisdom saving throw or be frightened until the end of their next turn. And then a frightened creature that is concentrating on a spell must also make a DC 17 Constitution saving throw or lose its concentration. So it can use that for concentration breaks as well. And then we have some bonus action here with the Mist Stalker. So while in an area of dim light, fog, or mist, the Black Shock takes the hide action. So, it feels like you're going to be in like this creepy forest with the mist and, twilight hours. So this thing is just going to be popping in and out, like hiding. You're going to lose track of it, things like that. So really, I think can make for this creepy kind of encounter when you're like walking through the scary forest kind of thing. It'd be a great, it could be either a great encounter for like a kind of a random encounter when you're walking through the scary woods, or it could be the creature that's stalking this town. And, the town hires you to kind of save them from it. Another thing to look at, too, is up here in its description, right? So this thing says that haunting country byways and back roads, Black Shucks are credited with countless murders, missing wayfarers, and wholesale slaughter of entire caravans and patrols. So imagine that, these patrols are trying to get in. It's disrupting trade routes to a small town. They hire you to figure out what's going on. They'll hide in the fog, all of that kind of stuff. But then it also likes to toy with its victims, and it often, as often as it murders with them, it just likes to mess with people. What's kind of weird is that it can show random kindness towards lost children, guiding them home. So that could add a kind of a weird twist to the story. But yeah, I think this would be just a fun one for anybody's game. Okay, another one that I really liked in here was these Kobold Monster Hunters, and there's actually 3 of them. But I really like this Ghost Hunter one. Kind of has a very Van Helsing type of feel to them. So there is the Ghost Hunters, the Leviathan Hunters, and the Plains Hunters. But if you look here at the Ghost Hunter, you'll see that they kind of have this blessed weapon that does an extra 3d8 radiant damage, which is included in the attacks. It looks like right here, actually, they made an error and put a 9 instead of a 3. But yeah, you'll see they have this pack tactics like any kobold. They can, when they're motionless, undead can't see them. They can see through the ethereal plane. So kind of these cool abilities. It's a CR11 creature. It's a tough kobold, and you can kind of see the really cool art here. And if you're playing one of those kind of gritty gothic horror type kind of campaigns, this could be a really fun NPC for your party to meet. maybe a competitor. Maybe if you're hired to kill some vampires, this guy's also hired to kill those vampires and is in competition with you. So you may end up, in a fight with him. You may end up allying with him to take something out. So a lot of possibilities there. He's got his crossbows. He's got this flame jet ability and this holy strike ability. And then he's got a grappling hook, which I thought was super, super cool. So, which the grappling hook, the Ghost Hunter launches its grappling hook at a large or larger object or structure where a huge or large creature can see within 60 feet and is pulled to an unoccupied space within 5 feet of the target without provoking opportunity attacks. I like that. I thought that was super cool. The whole feel of this guy is just really, really neat. A few other things in this book, not that we won't dive too much into, but they did some cool stuff with constructs. And I just want to show you real quick because it's going to kind of tie in to what we'll talk about in the Lairs book. So if we go to creatures by type, let's look at constructs because Kobold Press always does a lot of cool stuff with constructs. And they have this clockwork conductor that is like this little mechanical gnome or halfling that bards essentially created to conduct magical instruments, which they also have in here. They talk about these animated instruments on page 34 here. So if we look at these animated instruments, there's a few different ones. There's singles, there's quartets, and then there's the entire animated orchestra that these guys can control. So I want to hop over here now to the Lairs book and show you that because this book actually has an adventure that ties in with those guys. So Tome of Beasts 3 Lairs, just like the other Lairs books from their other monster books, has taken certain creatures from the monster book and made some cool little encounters for them. So for Port Harmony here, this is basically about a haunted bardic college where your hooks are either this bunch of kids that were messing around, dared one of their friends to go in, and he hasn't come out, or that somebody basically hires you to go in and retrieve some stuff. But they give you some cool maps, and then you end up in encounters with your conductor and your instruments and things like that. Looks like we end up fighting this golem here. It's an origami golem, which we can see in Tome of Beasts 3 as well. And then there's our orchestra. So I enjoy these a lot. This is a great one. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on the Foundry version because Lairs translates really well over to virtual tabletop because you'll have your maps, you'll have your creatures all set up, ready to go. So we'll definitely have to take a look at that when it comes out. But I definitely am liking what I'm seeing so far. Like I said, I got the PDF last week and I've just been kind of browsing through it. And there's a lot of good stuff in here. So as far as compared to the other books, I still love Creature Codex. Creature Codex, I think, is still my favorite of all of the monster books. But this might be a close second now. Honestly, I love Tome of Beasts. I love Tome of Beasts 2. But I'm liking a lot of the stuff I'm seeing in Tome of Beasts 3. I'm liking the flavor of it. So this one's definitely going to be getting some use at my table. I have a game this weekend, and I already have some ideas of stuff that I'm going to be pulling from here for that game, which I don't want to put on this video because I don't want to spoil it for my players. So I'll let you know how that goes, and we'll bring you guys another video next week on some more Kobold Press stuff because I am, like I said, doing a game this weekend, and I'm going to be using some Kobold Press products. I'm going to hopefully film a little bit of that or take some pictures and tie it into my video for next week. So that's it for today. I really hope you guys like this. I hope that you have already picked up Tome of Beasts 3 and the Lairs book as part of their Kickstarter. If you haven't, pre-orders are now available and open. Make sure you go and check the link in the description below. I have a link to the Kobold Press site where you can pre-order your copy of Tome of Beasts 3 if you don't already have it. But hurry up and grab this. This is going to be a fantastic book for your table, and hopefully we'll see those virtual tabletop versions out real soon. So that's it for now, and until next time, roll those dice.